Hey all, this is Val here with another Dungeon Hunter Champions video. In today's video, we're going to show you how to get your foot in the ED10. Alright guys, so this team is going to be super easy to put together. You're going to be able to pull the entire team from common disc, except one unit. One unit you're actually going to have to farm a little bit for. Let's go ahead and we're going to look at all the units for a perfect starter ED10 team. And this should come as no surprise to longtime Dungeon Hunter Champions players. But for you new folks out there, this is going to be what you're going to want to go with. So first, Zinnia. Now I apologize, my Zinnia is 6-star, but she does work just as fine as 5-star. How you newbies get her, because you can't get her through common disc, is you have to farm her dungeon on Sunday. Now, before you do that, now her dungeon is Light Bull, which appears every Sunday. I should mention that, it's kind of important. But you want to make sure before you do that, that you go ahead and you get up to the mission where you get 20 of her shards for free. And then you get the other 20 during the Light Bull on Sundays. Okay, that's how you obtain Zinnia. Here's my Zinnia stats. Really, all you want to focus on is HP, defense, accuracy. Everything else here is inconsequential to her. Here's a peek at her gear. Adept is going to be the way you want to go. Adept, anything. If I went too fast, feel free to pause the video and then take a look. So, the next unit in this team is going to be Mojo. Now, my Mojo isn't really geared very well. These are all leftovers. My Mojo I've picked through time and time again. So, for purposes of this video, we're going to be substituting Mojo for Wonga. Here's my gear. Here's my stats. Now, this lovable guy you get either through watching the daily videos or through arena ranking. Mojo, which is the one I recommend you get through common disc. So just pull those common disc, spam them. Eventually, one of these guys will pop out. Here's the stats. Here's a look at the gear. If I go too fast, please feel free to pause the video and then take a further look. All right. Now, the next unit we want, and again, we're not using him just because of the gear situation. I don't have enough to level it, or we would have used these. But the units I'm using are the exact same thing, just element neutral. You will be fine using the ones using Zircon or Mojo. Here's his stats. And how do you get this guy? You get this guy also through common disc. Now, the one we're actually going to be using is Amethyst. There's his stats. Here's his gear. Same thing. If you want to check the gear out more, so I'm going a little too fast, go ahead and pause the video and take a look. Okay, next, we're going to be running Rhoda. Rhoda is going to be your all-around buffer, debuffer. She's just a great unit to have. Here's her gear. And her stats. And last but not least, and I apologize, he is 6-star because he's just so gosh dang useful, and I've had him for forever. Monis. This is your all-around debuffer, buffer. Oh man, this guy cooks, he cleans, he washes dishes. He's all around just amazing. Build him. Here's his gear. Now I know you're looking at this gear going crazy gear, Val. Crazy gear. You're not going to have that as a starter. You're not going to have these stats as a starter. That is okay. This team will still work. So that's the team. But I need to tell you where you pull all these units, right? So we know Zinnia from Light Bull. Everybody else, common disc. You can get them all in common disc. Now, people are going to say, but Val, there's an event based around comic disc. But the thing is, as a newbie, it is more important for you to build a good, solid team than it is for you to take part in that event. So spam your common disc to get these units. If you are going to pay, you might get them a little bit quicker, but it's no guarantee, right? Because rare disc only will have 3-star or higher. So you're not going to get Mojo. You're not going to get Zircon from there. Now, again, keeping on the theme of where to get these, you can also get the 2-stars from the black market. Now, you'll find them pretty regularly here, like especially early on. They pop up often. This helps you to skill them up as well. So we didn't have any this time. So we only had one actual shard too. Wow. This was a pretty bad one. But typically, you've got a few of them in here. So this is where you can skill up your Mojo, you can skill up your Zircon, and you can actually get them out of here, as well as more common disc. But I don't recommend at the stage you're in buying common disc out of here, because gold's going to be important. So now you've got the units. How do you get gear to get in to be able to do ED10, SW10, etc., etc.? So you're going to start off just like everyone did with adventure gear. Get used to it. Is just how it is. But unlike most games, it makes your life so easy, because not only can you pick which gear pieces you want, like for here you can see it's vital, but you can tell where each slot drops. No, look at that. That's just beautiful. That's beautiful. So what you want to do is, as high as you can go, get the highest gear level that drops for it. So if all you can do is epic, you can still get 5-star. It's pretty rare, right? Or no, excuse me, you can only get 4-star. So you can get 4-star, and try to get 4-star green if you can, just for each slot. Try not to worry too much about whatever the stat is on there. You just get what you get, okay? And vital is super important. You can put everyone on vital and then have a few with precision, because you're going to want that accuracy on Xenia, on pretty much your whole team. You're going to want accuracy. So they should all, even if you want to go to make sure you got enough accuracy, you can go 4 times precision and then 2 times vital. That's just to get you in the door. Vital is super important. So if you want to go 4 times here and 2 times here, perfect. Don't worry about substats. Really don't. You're just putting this on just so you're not going in naked. And the next important thing, because gold is going to be an issue, do not go higher than +6. Just don't. A lot of people say, yeah, +9 should be fine, but gold is an issue. I remember gold being an issue in the very beginning, and you don't want to waste it. Going to +9 or higher is not worth it for your adventure gear. Go to +6, it'll cost you maybe 8K, 9K, maybe if you have really bad luck. But, I mean, it should be super, super cheap. So, +6, call it a day. That's all you need to get in there, right? So, once you have your gear, once you've assembled your units, let me show you what you have to look forward to. Again, I know my Monis is +60 and my Xenia is 60, but this team right here is going to work, period. It's just gonna work. You're not gonna have any issues. Every single one of these units, you could 6-star. Now, if you're trying to be very conscious, then the only 3 I would say have to 6-star is Monis, Rhoda, Xenia. You could leave these 2 at 5-star, but I would recommend, especially if you're going to push into Ascended, that you 6-star these guys. They're worth it. I'm going to 6-star them eventually. So I'm actually following my own advice on that. Okay, so now keep this in mind, guys. You are not going to be breaking the speed barriers with this team. This is not a speed team. Don't even worry about speed teams. Just every time, you clear this 100%, and then you go to Discord to say, hey, guys, look at this great gear I dropped, and then they happen to see, like, the time or something like that. Don't worry about it. You're new. Speed teams aren't anything you should be concerned about at this point. What you're looking for is 100% reliability, which this team will bring to you. You've got 3 types of cooldown reduction, plus a cooldown reduction leader skill. You've got 3 heals, or excuse me, 2 heals, or no, 3 heals, because you got Xenia, you've got Zircon, and then you've got Monis. So survivability is definitely not going to be an issue. Now, in this particular team composition, you do want to build Rhoda 120% as an attacker. Like, you do not want to build her a support build. You want her to be able to do damage, because she's where the majority of your damage is going to come from. Everyone else you should build tanky. Every single one of these other units should be built tanky, because you are going to need it. You're not going to have the stats that I have here. So you're not. They're going to have to be tanky. There's no way around it. Now, how does this team work? So you've got Mojo that provides the defense buff. So that way, like you saw that fireball, when you take an angry fireball to the face, you don't actually insta-die. Then you've got Xenia, Monis, and Zircon to hear that unit up. You have Monis You have Zinnia, and then you have Rhoda to get the cooldown reduction to make sure we can get off a heal before the unit dies. You have Zircon, which also ensures that when the boss roars on you from the second time down, that he won't stun you, because you are going to have your immunity up, so no one will get rooted. He won't take advantage of you that way, and life will be good, as you'll see here. See? No problems. Again, it's not a speed team, but it is going to be rock solid. You will not have any problems conquering ED10 with this team. Now, again, you want to build Rhoda in this situation 100% DPS, because she really is where all your DPS is coming from. You want to build everybody else. Every single body else is going to be tanky. That's it. That's really it. That's the whole of it. That's all of it, to be honest with you. We can take a look at the stats here. As you can see, of course, Rhoda and Manis pulling their weight. You can see Zircon he's just an amazing unit. He is always going to out heal Zinnia. It's just how it's going to be. He pumps out so much heals, and then that immunity is just so good here. So good here. And make sure you don't get stunned by roar, which is very, very, very important. Now, what she's bringing to you is heals, cooldown reduction, and strip. Because every now and then the boss will get that attack up buff, and you do have your defense down or your attack down buff, and then she'll strip, or your attack down debuff, and she'll strip his attack buff, which means you're going to get less damage. Plus, Mojo shield gear is also going to make sure you take less damage. So no one is getting one shot, no way, no how in this team. The cooldown reduction is going to make sure all the buffs are up always, as you saw as I was running it. And it's just going to be really, really, really smooth running with this team. You have nothing to fear at all. And that's really going to do it. We talked about where to get the units, the stats, the gearing, where to get the gear to initially get into ED10. And this is going to serve you very well. Very, very well. Now, of course, when you're doing the climb, if you do see better gear that's dropping, make sure to replace your adventure gear as you go on. If you get to a point where it's like you're stuck and you feel you can't progress because you're dying too quickly, go one level up from there and then farm that level, get gear, and then keep progressing down as you do better. Because, guys, it's all going to come down to gear. Eventually, even with this team, as a newbie, you're going to come to one of these levels that just is not your friend. You're going to hate it. You're probably going to have to use someone's like Alio or some other unit to pass it to get to 10. But please do that. And then you'll be super, super happy with the results once you settle in ED10 and you start farming safely with this team. Just remember, keep replacing gear, keep upgrading gear. When a piece drops off, before you sell it, if you know it's going to benefit someone else, make sure to check. So as you're going through adventure gear and you know you geared Rhoda as the #1 priority, right? So she has your best gear. Oh, wow. Yeah, ED4, you get a piece that's actually better than your adventure gear. You level up, you equip it to her. Do not delete the piece you just replaced. Take a look at your other units and pass it down. As you pass it down, your least geared unit, once you replace that piece, and then there's that extra piece from him. If you don't have another unit that's going to be used on, then sell that piece. Because gear and money is going to be an issue. It is. It's going to be an issue. When you get that great drop, you're going to say, dang, I don't have the gold to build it out. Hold on to it. Feed it every now and then. And then if you have to, stop your progression and then farm the highest level you can farm 100%. Get gold, level it up, slap it on there, and then continue to move down the list, remembering to pass gear down to the next person until you get to your least geared unit, and then, that piece drops off. And if you don't have another unit you're playing around with, you can slap that on or whatever. Just sell it. Just sell it for the gold, because you are going to need it. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Also, drop some comments. If you have other extremely easy to obtain common disc teams, post them down below. We always like to hear good teams and give people options as they're new starting out. All right, all. Thank you for watching. And as always, all you dudes and dudettes out there, stay frosty.